We are back, YouTube. For anyone who's returning, thank you, and for everyone who's new, welcome. I'm Mitch, and this is Retro Rummage. I'm going to my channel buying games, DVDs, Blu-rays, any electronics I get my hands on at car boot sales, Facebook Marketplace, or charity shops for a cheap price. So I'm getting traded into CX at a high price, so I can build my own gaming collection. So yes, back with another world famous triple R retro rummage rant. I briefly touched on this in one of my previous videos, or one of my unboxing videos. I think it was for the Call of Duty trilogy box set that I got on the PlayStation 2. And I touched on, basically, I'm kind of at like a middle, what's the saying? I'm at like an impasse, or I'm in a middle road or something like that with collecting video games at the minute. Obviously I do love collecting video games, but I am quite picky in terms of what I'll get. I don't just collect for the sake of it. Although yes, I am collecting for the PlayStation 2 cardboard at the moment, which is kind of a subset. I'm not just gonna, I won't just go, oh, you know what, I'm going to start collecting that just for the sake of getting it and collecting. It's got to have either a little bit of nostalgia to me, or I've got to have a genuine interest in wanting to buy them. And obviously the cardboard is kind of a mixture of that, but obviously there are loads of cardboard variants that I probably won't spend the money on. There was a Ratchet and Clank cardboard sleeve promo copy that come up on eBay. I think it was up for about 120, 130 pounds. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I reached out to Gaming Rarities. He's also on a more serious PlayStation 2 cardboard journey, should I say, and said, look, this is out of my price range. I'm not willing to spend that money on a Ratchet and Clank game. But he did, he bought it, and it's obviously in his collection now. And if I was serious about just collecting, like, all right, this is it, I've set myself a goal of getting all that cardboard, I need to get it, I would have bought that. But that's not how I'm collecting. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, if the promo copy was on there for a tenner or something like that, then yeah, I probably would have bought it. But I'm not spending serious money on games just for the sake of it. And that is the reason for me making this video, because I was this close to buying Cindy's Fashion World from CX. Now, it was the without manual copy for, I think it was up for about, I can't remember, I think it's about £680 without manual. I think it's £750 with manual, something like that. And I really thought about it, I'm not going to lie, and I sat there for ages thinking, oh, right, it's without the manual, but it never comes into stock in CEX, and on eBay with manual they go for a lot more. I was really trying to justify it with myself, and then I just sat there and I thought, what am I doing? Why am I thinking about buying Cindy's Fashion World on the PlayStation 1? I'm not going for a full PlayStation 1 set, so there's no need for me to have that game. Yes, it could be like, oh, bragging rights, I've got the most expensive PlayStation 1 game, blah 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 sort of thing. And I really sat myself down and thought, right, I need to have a chat myself now, because what am I doing? What is the goal of collecting? What is the goal of going to the car boots and the video game collecting? And I've really had a thought about it, and I'm trying to just kind of decide where I want to go with it. I'm going to briefly touch on it now, and obviously see what your guys' thoughts are on how you collect video games, and not why. We all know why we collect video games, but it is kind of, we need to draw a line in the sand where the hobby becomes the addiction, because I do think there is a fine line between it, and I've started to blur that line recently, and I need to snap myself out of it. I mean, I touched on this in my last video, so apologies if I'm going over it again, but eagle-eyed viewers will notice that I've sold my GameCube. I've sold all of the games. I think the only one that I've got left to sell is Mario Kart Double Dash with the Zelda disc, as I'm holding out for a little bit more money on that than what I've been offered. But I sat there, and when I bought that console, it was because I just started getting serious with collecting video games, and I thought, obviously I've got nostalgia for PlayStation 2 and 1, and I thought maybe if I venture into another console, it'll give me that burning desire to buy more video games, and it'll, what's the word I'm trying to say? It'll, give me more avenues in, videos to make for YouTube, and that is another part of the collecting for me as well. There is not a pressure, but I think, I need to put a video out, a Wednesday video out of my recent pickups, and sometimes I sit there and I think, I'm just making this. Am I just buying this just to make a video, just to keep the algorithms happy and stuff like that? And I'll probably be honest with myself that there has been a few instances like that with games that I've just bought just for the sake of making a video, which I shouldn't do, and that is something that I've got to resolve with myself. But like I said, I've sat myself down and I've decided against buying games for the sake of it. I'm definitely not buying expensive games that I've got absolutely zero interest in just for the sake of making a video out of it. And like I said, I've sold the GameCube. I had no interest in it. I had no nostalgia for it. I don't like the controller. And yeah, I absolutely love my PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, and I don't get too much time to sit down and play those. So to drag myself away from those consoles and play, for example, GameCube, or if I was to get any other console, it's just not gonna happen. But what I have been doing lately, and where I may see the channel going, is more with modern gaming. Now, I watch Wayne's World of Gaming. Shout out to Wayne. And he recently sold a lot of his collection. Now, I'm not saying I'm not selling any of my PlayStation 1, 2, or whatever collection. I'm not doing that. But he did sell a lot of his recently sold a lot of his older PlayStation 1 and 2 stuff, just because it was sitting on his shelf. And he's now focusing more on the modern side of gaming, and I absolutely love my PlayStation 5. I will be honest with you, it's one of my best investments in a long time. Obviously, I bought it with vouchers from CEX, and yeah, I've just been absolutely, well, when I say I'm smashing the life out of the PlayStation 5, that's me playing 6 hours a week or something, but that's a lot for me. But I really, every moment I'm on it, I love it. And I'm going to go over some games that I've been playing, some games that I plan to play in a moment. But that may be a route that the channel's going to go down, because I'm running out of old games to buy. Now, I know the YouTube channel is called Retro Rummage. But yeah, I'm running out of old games to buy. There are obviously loads that I still need. For example, I was speaking to some friends the other day and I was saying, I still need a lot of the horror games on the PlayStation 2. For example, Forbidden Siren. There's one of the Project Zero games that I need. The obscure games, stuff like that. And I've got the bizarre thing about it is I've got enough vouchers sitting there where I could just order all of these from CEX today, and I could have them all, within the next week. Bear in mind all of the conditions are good, but I'll refrain from doing that because collecting for me is a hobby and it's a journey, and it's not a case of, I need it to be done. I want to right. I need to buy all of them now so that they're in my collection, because I haven't got an end goal for collecting, and if I get all of the games that I want now, where am I going to go with this? And then, although I do game, I do separate them. Video game collecting and video game playing, in my opinion, two completely different entities. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that, yes, I do have older games that I want to buy, but my favourite list on CX is maybe 20 games long, and if I buy a game a week, say, for example, that's a couple of a couple of months and then I'm done with collecting sort of thing. So I'm trying to hold off on the older side of things, but obviously there are loads and loads of new modern games that, well, not loads and loads, but there are modern games that I want to buy. But but the thing that's putting me off is it's a crap time. Obviously the PlayStation 5 is the current console, and I've got loads of games, well, not loads, I've got a few games down there where I've bought them, not at full whack, but 45, 50 pound, and I've played them, and then a couple months have gone past, and then I see them in CEX for 20, 25 pound, and then I think, why didn't I trade them in, and well, after I played them, and then buy them back at a later date? Because how I want to try and treat the modern generation of games is not as a collectionist, but more as a gamer. And what I want to ask you guys with how you act with new games is, when you buy them, obviously I know a lot of people play on, they just buy the games digitally. I'm never going to do that. I'll always buy physical. But when you buy a PlayStation 5 game, for example, or any current gen game, would you then sell it or trade it back into CEX whilst the price is still high, and then if you want to buy it at a later date? Because I've got games down there like Warhammer, Space Marine. Paid like 50 quid for that. It's dropped down to, well, I don't think it's dropped down too much. I think it's about £35 at the minute. God of War Ragnarok, I'm sure I paid like 45, 50 pound for that, and it's like 20 pound now, something like that. There's a few other games down there where I've bought them, and because I've got my collector's hat on, I'm like, right, they're going to stay in my collection now. But then the prices have dropped right down. So I don't know how to be in that instance. I'm looking for your guys' guidance. But anyway, I've gone right around the houses, and the whole point that I was trying to make is, how would you guys feel if I did, move more towards the modern side of gaming in terms of like PlayStation 5? I've got like 1 or 2 PlayStation 4 games down there. Obviously I know the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible. That is a good console to collect for. The games are very, very reasonable at the moment. You'd be hard done by to find many games that are in CEX over £20. Obviously there are very, very many games that are expensive on the PlayStation 4, but generally speaking it is a good console to collect for. So maybe that could be something that, or not collect for, collect for / game on. That could be something that I would look to do as well. But yeah, it's just, like I was saying, it's just one of my rants, just me going on with the state with my gaming and collecting at the moment. It's like I was saying, it's just difficult. I don't want to be buying games for the sake of buying games. If that means that I've got to sacrifice how many uploads I do a week. Obviously, the boot sale footage is the main footage. The main reason that people watch my channel. I would probably do if I wanted to mainly concentrate on getting more subscribers and getting more views, I wouldn't even bother doing any unboxing videos or these are the games that I've been buying sort of thing, because they don't get views. And from what my brief understanding of YouTube is that it's actually more detrimental to your YouTube channel if you keep uploading videos that get a lot less views than some videos, if that makes sense. So it will bring down the suggestion rate of your videos, if that makes sense. So if I actually stopped doing my unboxing videos, because they get like say 1,500 to 2,000 views, and my boot sale videos get from 4,000 upwards sort of thing, YouTube would actually recommend my videos more, even though I upload less, because those videos get more views, if that makes sense. It's a very, very weird structure of how YouTube works, but there is a knack to it. I just can't be bothered to look into it that much. But obviously the whole point of me doing this YouTube channel is that I want to share what I get with you guys. But yeah, if me getting less video games means that, you know, I don't have to upload on a Wednesday, then so be it. But come the end of this year, if things keep going how they are, that may be the case. It may just be boot sale footage, and yeah, the odd pickup video here and there. But we'll see. But yeah, like I was saying, I did want to briefly mention the games that I've been playing on the PlayStation 5, and then one that on the PlayStation 4 as well. I think it's one of 2 games. I think I've got Last of Us Remastered on the PlayStation 4, but I do want to get it on the... That's another game on the PlayStation 5. It's been about 45 quid, Last of Us Remastered, like the first one, on the PlayStation 5. It's been about 45 quid for a year. It just ain't dropping. I keep saying to myself, because I've completed it on the PlayStation 3, I'll wait for it to drop, and it's just not dropping. But I do have it on the PlayStation 4 because I got it from the car boot. But anyway, so these are the games that I've been playing, or some that I'm going to play as well. So first of all, I wanted to kick off with Elden Ring. Yeah, see this in store. This is like the day 1 edition, I believe. It comes with like some extra little bits there. I won't bother opening it up, but yeah, it's in really good condition. I think at the time I paid about £35 voucher for this. Now, this is my first, is it Souls game? Is it like Dark Souls, Skyrim, of that ilk? And I absolutely love it. I think I'm about 40 to 45 hours in, which for me, in any game, is well above what I normally play. I mean, I think the longest game I played apart from that is God of War Ragnarok, which took me about like 28 hours, anything like that, something like that. Anything over that, and I do tend to get bored, but I'm still really enjoying this. I'm up, for anyone who's played it, I'm up to the bit where you've got to kill the big giant, with the fire in his stomach. And I've died probably about 150 times at that point, trying to level my character up in other parts of the world. But yeah, really, really enjoying it. Very, very difficult, but very, very rewarding at the same time. Whether or not I should go back and play other Souls games, if I'm getting that right, wrong, I do apologise. I know that I think, was it Skyrim Oblivion or so? One of those games has had a remaster recently, and I know people are going mad for it. But yeah, very, very good game, and probably going to put it on after I've finished filming this. But yeah, really, really enjoying that. Now, I got this from the car boot a couple of weeks ago. I haven't opened it yet. But yeah, White Day. It's a survival horror. And earlier on in the year, I've completed on the PlayStation 5 Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. And I absolutely loved them. Brilliant games. I played through Resident Evil 2 with Claire and Leon as well. And yeah, really, really enjoyed them. I mean, I've always been a survival horror fan, but I've never played one on like a current gen game. So yeah, I really, really want to start playing more of them. I've heard good things about this. Obviously not, what's the word? Game changing or anything like that. But I'm sure Wayne's World of Gaming, I believe, may have played this as well. I know that I think there's White Day and then there's White Day 2 as well. So I really want to play this. I still need to get Silent Hill 2. That's another one that I'm waiting for the price to drop, but it's been at £48 for as long as I can remember. But yeah, I think I paid a tenner for that, brand new from the car boot. So looking forward to giving that one a go. And then this is a game that I bought the other day. This has finally dropped. Basically, how I am with PlayStation 5 games is if they drop below £20 in CX, I'll buy them, because where I pay with vouchers, realistically, it's probably costing me about £7. So £7 for a PlayStation 5 game, you know, I'm more than happy to pay that. Now, I have played and completed is it Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I thought that was a really good game, but quite short. Heard good things about this as well. So yeah, looking forward to giving this one a go. Let me know in the comments if this is better or worse than Fallen Order. But either way, I will play through it. And is it longer? Because that was my only criticism of Fallen Order. I think it took me about like 12 hours to complete it, something like that. Which, you know, it shouldn't take anything away from the game. I mean, I think Resident Evils maybe took 6 hours to complete, something like that. I'm not the quickest at completing games. But I really enjoyed them, and you know. So the problem is you want to get your money's worth. So you think if you pay all this money for a game and then it only takes you a couple of hours to, you know, play through the storyline, it's you kind of feel like you've been done over a little bit. But then on the flip side, sometimes I think, oh God, that game's going to take 70 hours to complete. I can't be bothered. But yeah, either way, I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. And then yeah, the one PlayStation 4 game that I do want to play, and I've been meaning to play this for a while, but like I said, I don't get too much time to game. Obviously, YouTube takes up a lot of my time, and yeah, it's difficult to complete. And I'm a completionist as well. Like, if I cannot stop playing a game until I've completed the main storyline at least. So yeah, it's taken me a while to get around to this, but it is The Last Guardian. Now, I really enjoyed Shadow of the Colossus, and I also enjoyed, although I only played it briefly, but I do need to play that as well, Echo, have you pronounced that? And this is by the same, same people, I believe anyway. Sorry, the camera went off there. But yeah, this is by the same people, or same studio that done Echo, and also Shadow of the Colossus. So yeah, really enjoyed those games, and I really want to give this game a go as well. Just finding it difficult to fit everything in at the moment. But yeah, that is the end of the rant, shall we say. I mean, I will end this video on a question to you guys, or a proposal to you guys, or a proposition, in that, you know, how would you feel about my channel going more towards the modern side? I don't want to say more to the modern side, but you know, there will be a major part of my channel with, you know, modern gen gaming, not consoles, collecting, and yeah, just me going over newer stuff rather than just the old retro all the time. But yeah, if you're still watching now, I really appreciate it. But let me know in the comments your thoughts, and yeah, take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.